we get there or get there faster. Yeah, that's how it is. Mm-hmm.
Thank you,
Let him
Excellency.
finish something that you want to.
Just on a lighter note, the other day I was speaking to a young person and said something interesting. He said, we now have a minister of enjoyment. I was like, what do you mean minister of enjoyment? So he said,
Minister who?
Of enjoyment.
Okay.
And the reference was, Conge.
Okay.
Conge. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, and then I was like, okay, this is interesting. Okay, was this a bonus? Was this? But then, Mr. President, just put to you, maybe the thinking. What was the thinking? Because this was the first time
for Conge.
For additional 2 days, or this is something to be expected going forward. And then finally,
I think you needed it. You sometimes, I think I see people stressed and really almost like to drop. So maybe you needed it. But at the same time, this person who you had a conversation with, on a personal level again, if you asked him, let me assume he was complaining. He said, why did they give us these 2 days? If you probed deeper, and asked him, say, by the way, what was your plan? What did you really want to do in these 2 days that you are now not going to achieve because you have 2 holidays? First of all, you may discover the guy was going to anyway spend the whole morning sleeping. And maybe the afternoon, even if he goes to office, he just goes there and is surfing the internet. You know, it's really not. So for the 2 days. You will find, so declaring it officially a rest day may serve his interests better. So, but anyway, it stemmed from, you remember 1st of July is actually when we got independence, meaning from decolonization. And then 4th of July is the Liberation Day. While we cannot keep having a celebration for this, then celebration for that, and blocking those days in succession like that, you are also aware there are times when 1st of July or 4th of July may fall on a Saturday or a Sunday. If it fell on the 4th of July, 4th of July fell on Saturday, that is really not a holiday for the 4th of July. It is a Saturday anyway, you had it. So sometimes if it falls on a Saturday or a Sunday, we give people a Monday. You see the point? That's what normally increases the number of. So if you look at the 1st and the 4th, one of them was going to run into the weekend, is it? Were they?
4th was a Friday. And
4th.
It's a Friday today. So it was going to get into the weekend.
It was so. You would have been given a Friday, but still you would have then had Friday and a Saturday, because anyway you have a Saturday. And then the 1st of.
Was a Tuesday. 1st of July was a Tuesday.
It was a Tuesday. So is that the time you had?
Yes. Tuesday was supposed to be a holiday.
And
then
so we gave therefore Wednesday. Wednesday and Thursday.
Yeah.
Fine. Do you want, let's say, You say the first was on Tuesday.
Correct.
Okay, we give you a Tuesday. Then you break and come to work on Wednesday. On Wednesday. Then you come on Thursday. Then Friday is. So do you want to keep dancing like that? Or we may as well put them all together and just say, okay, you have them. Do with yourself whatever you want. At least come fresh on a Monday and start the business. That was really the thinking.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Yeah.
And if you may allow, and there was that speculation, of course, social media speculation, hateful speculation,
Yeah.
I'd call it, surrounding your personal health.
Yes.
I don't know if you would want to say something about that. Thank you, Mr. President.
Now, how do people account for their personal health? Ordinarily, how do they, all of you, me, and others, how do people want to account for people's personal health? Is there an exception, by the way, in this world? Is there anybody? Well, first of all, there is nobody who lives forever. Secondly, even for anybody's life, whether short or long, you have to manage all these issues as human beings. Well, but when it comes to politics, maybe this is not taken into account. In fact, some of my personal health problems might originate from managing you people. The amount of stress you and so for me as a human being, yeah. You know, people got COVID, they get this, they get the flu, they get a cold. People just, even their own hearts, as they're moving, the heart stops and somebody falls down. I mean, isn't this human? What is the problem? What do people want me to account for? That I'm not human? Even if those, you call them the hateful people who, I mean, the kind of politics. You know, the very person might be talking about somebody or talking about me and wishing me everything bad and say, wish, you know, he has actually died and died. And then by the time you see me, he's actually already dead himself. And which has nothing to do with me, just because these guys are human beings. Like so, I mean, it's, yeah, but this is the kind of politics I think, I hope we got liberated from ourselves as a nation. It's even beyond stupidity. It just doesn't make sense. Have you ever had anybody, I mean, you can rejoice even when they're carrying somebody in a coffin going for burial. You can have that moment of rejoice and say, aha, turamukize, and so on. And by the time he gets into his car, 1 kilometer, he has followed the other one. So I don't understand the logic, the politics, or anything at all. So anyway, at least you raise